back, continuing with the point classes. So we just completed one particular point class. Let's improve this a little bit. There is no method other than the instantiator. So let's add two more methods. All right. What are the two methods? I think this is not indented properly. There you go. What about this? Okay. All right. One is getX. What does it do for my point, any point I construct? This getX returns self.x. So since it returns an attribute, this is an accessor. And it's traditionally also called a getter. On the other hand, look at the next method. Define setX, self, one value. That is my x coordinate self dot underscore x is assigned the value you give it, VAL, whatever value you give it. This changes my attribute, right? It changes my attribute. So this is a mutator. Notice the setter did not return anything. It simply mutated the x coordinate of my point self, of my instance, right? So this is called a setter or a mutator. So mutators are also usually called setters, whereas accessors are usually called getters. Now let's run this. Okay. So let's say P equals point. Look, my instantiator does not take any parameters other than self, but self is what is the instance or the object we are creating. So point is still created in this fashion. So what is the x coordinate of P? It is 0. What is the y coordinate of P? It is 0. What does getX tell me? P dot getX. So that's the method attached to the object P, and it doesn't take any parameter other than self, but self is already represented in P here. So getX gives me the x coordinate. It returned it, right? Now I want to implement or invoke the setter. So P dot set x. I need to give it a value. All right. So suppose I give it 5. So what is now x coordinate of P? It is 5. What is P dot get x? 5. Do you see that? But what about y? It is still 0. We didn't set y to anything. In other words, we changed the value of x coordinate of P, but not the y. So how would I improve this? To change y coordinates, well, you guessed it. You take these and replace the x's by the y's. All right, get y. I'm going to return the y coordinate. Set y. I'm going to change the y coordinate. And that's it, right? Run it. Now construct your point P. P dot getX is 0. P dot gety. Get y, I'm sorry, it should have been a capital Y. Run it. P is the point. P dot get x. P dot get y. Good. P dot set x to 5. P dot set y to 6. what is the dictionary for P. X coordinate is 5, Y coordinate is 6. In other words, I got a new point. I changed my point 0, 0 to 5, 6. All right. So play with this class for a little while. In the meanwhile, let's read this. Note, when declaring a method within a class definition, self should be explicitly listed as the first parameter in the signature. This parameter identifies the particular object upon which the method is invoked. So do not forget to write that self. Otherwise, you are not defining a method, you are defining a function. All right. The members of that object are qualified syntactically as self dot member name. So if you want to figure out the instance variables or attributes like methods, it is self dot something. Variables that are not qualified have local scope. Okay, try out the getter and setter methods, write similar methods for accessing and mutating y coordinates. Okay, now we'll come to the next example in our next video. Okay, until then,